Welcome to US-based news channel. A first in Belgorod, Russia's border region. Ukrainian army managed to cross the borders with its record-breaking attacks. Moreover, this time a different type of military equipment was used for the first time in the attacks. Successive attacks were carried out in the region. Intensity of the operations increased on critical fronts in Ukraine. Sudden counterattacks in key area in Donetsk. Russian army, on the other hand, had to face their outburst of strategy. Deputy Minister of Defense of Ukraine announced that an advance of 20 kilometers was achieved on this front. Many Russian military points and equipment were hit during the day. First of the expected air defense system for Ukraine has been delivered to Ukraine. Plus these systems are one of the best in the world. War is now taking shape in line with the relations between the countries. In this war that has been going on for months, it is now seen that Russian regions are targeted as much as the Ukrainian lands. It is known that Ukraine took action after the attacks of the Russian army targeting infrastructures. On top of that, many regions in Russia have been attacked for a long time. Increasing mutual attacks, especially in the border regions, puts both sides very difficult. This time, attacks were reported again in the Belgorod region on the border with Russia. Moreover, it was a first in the region. According to the latest news, it was revealed that the Russian military points in this region were fired for the first time using a Ukrainian tank. As a result of the conflicts, Russian territory was exposed to fire from a tank for the first time. Within the scope of this attack, it was announced that the Ukrainian armed forces fired a total of 12 shots. After the bombardment, it was seen that this tank had left the area. These moves prove that the Ukrainian army has now included many military equipment in the attacks. On the part of the Russian army, panic is increasing. It was also claimed that an attack was carried out at the Shebekino border crossing in this Belgorod region. According to the statements, this Russian military point was attacked by Ukrainian troops with an unmanned aerial vehicle. With this attack held at night, explosion sounds were heard. Then, as a result of the explosion of explosives in the area, it was stated that the flames rose. It was announced that the Russian military checkpoint was seriously damaged. It was reported that the work at the Shebekino border control point was temporarily suspended. Such developments cause more outbreaks of defense inadequacies on the Russian side. In addition, conflicts continue on the territory of Ukraine. As it is known, the most intense clashes take place in Bakhmut in Donetsk. This front is seen as a turning point for countries. Although the Russian troops continue their attacks despite the losses, they are starting to run out. This front, where fierce operations are carried out day by day, becomes more challenging for the Russian forces to succeed. As these units suffer losses, the Ukrainian army can achieve greater success. Moreover, this time it was announced that a sudden counterattack was launched by the Ukrainian forces on this Bakhmut front. According to what has been stated, the defense of the Russian troops at the front is intended to be broken in line with this counterattack. In addition, these sudden attacks make it difficult for the Russian forces to transfer their combat-ready units. Ukrainian army, on the other hand, is advancing on the front, successfully fulfilling its main tasks. In this context, Russian troops are forced to disperse. Ukraine, on the other hand, can gain superiority at critical points with its war-ready units. With each passing day, the violence of the conflicts increases without even being given the opportunity to hide in this front, where the Russian soldiers are looking for a place to escape. It is also seen as a strategic mistake for Russia to concentrate its most experienced units on a single point. Because, according to experts, experienced Russian soldiers concentrated in a single point due to this tactic can suffer heavier losses if they are targeted. Moreover, the strength of the defense capacity in other aspects of the front is declining. This causes regions to become more vulnerable to attacks. Russia, on the other hand, continues to lose its experienced soldiers due to strategic mistakes. Ukrainian soldiers, on the other hand, are advancing with successful strategies thanks to their invincible defense tactics at the front. Ukrainian Deputy Defense Minister Hanna Malia drew attention with her important statements about the front. Ukrainian troops continue to advance on this Bakhmut front. Moreover, thanks to this, the troops reportedly saved an area of approximately 20 kilometers. Control is still maintained in a significant part of the region. He explained that Ukrainian commanders and soldiers did their best. Although the operations have been going on for almost a year, they are increasing. If full control is achieved in the region, the efforts of the Russian forces, which have been going on for months, will be completely in vain. In the center of the attacks of the Russian army are the Bakhmut, Lyman, Marinka, and Avdiivka fronts. Attacks in these areas are increasing day by day. This time, it was announced that approximately 44 conflicts took place on these 4 fronts. It was also reported that many Russian warehouses and equipment were destroyed in the operations. It was stated that the Ukrainian defense shot down 1 Iranian-made Shahd drone and 2 Russian reconnaissance aircraft. Ukrainian Air Force also attacked nearly 15 points where Russian soldiers and equipment were located. Ukrainian rocket and artillery units hit 3 electronic warfare systems, 2 ammunition tanks and a fuel tank during the day. In this direction, the loss of Russia increased even more. In just 24 hours, it was reported that 3 tanks, more than 10 armored combat vehicles, 13 artillery systems, 11 unmanned aerial vehicles and 15 tankers belonging to the Russian troops were destroyed. It was also announced that more than 500 Russian soldiers were neutralized during the day. While Russia suffers losses day by day, Ukraine is gaining strength with the support it receives from countries. This time, it is reported that the first SAMP-T air defense system has arrived in Ukraine. According to the latest news, it was announced that the battery of this system was delivered to Ukraine as a result of the joint work of Italy and France. It was stated that thanks to these systems, which are an integral element of the unified missile defense system in Europe, the first combat training intervention was carried out in 2013. It was a matter of curiosity how he would show himself in the conditions of Ukraine. It is also known that such supports have critically strengthened Ukraine's defense. It was announced that this missile defense system is also called the Missile of Europe. Considered one of the best in the world in its field thanks to its features, this complex also draws attention with its very long range and radar capable of 360-degree tracking. Moreover, it is known that various air defense systems such as Patiro were delivered to Ukraine before. In this way, the defense of the country is seriously strengthened and significant advantages can be obtained. Russia's offensive efforts, on the other hand, are wasted day by day. With the increase in losses, it becomes more difficult to compensate. In addition, it is known that Russia can carry out frequent air strikes. For these reasons, such defense systems can be a determining factor in the course of the war. In this way, Ukrainian lands and skies have stronger defenses. Russian troops, on the other hand, may have to face significant losses and defeats as a result of preventing every attack attempt. In the long run, all these developments will become more critical. From now on, all kinds of moves and decisions made by country leaders will have to be carried out in a strategic direction. Otherwise, there will be no margin for error, especially for Russia. We'll see what happens in the next few days. We have reached the end of another video. You can support us by liking the video. You can easily follow new videos by subscribing. I wish you all a war-free day. See you.